This shit more than a game.
Perfect.
You know, in the midst of all this hype and whatnot for the New Orleans Saints, I do think at times tough questions have to be asked. Like, okay, do we really need Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan at this stage of their careers? Is Chris Olave really worthy of a top of the line wide receiver contract that's going to reset the market? And are we as Saints fans just getting a little too, just maybe a little too overzealous with the Tyler Shough hype and all that comes with being a franchise quarterback? I know how to keep it real, but I say to answer these questions, I need somebody who can really keep it real. Somebody who love him or hate him, he's going to give you his 100% unfiltered thoughts. And that is why tonight we are in for one hell of an episode. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Younghoe Koo Show, but it's shit more than a game.
From the stands, I'm invested. Every loss served like a lesson we tested. Front porch talk turn to Sunday confessions. From dome to the block, it's all one connection. From Eric to Drew, Alvin to Cam, talk down on my squad. Boy, I be damned. I rap for the ones that never got fame, still yelling loud. This shit more than a game. Cause y'all know why. This shit more than a game. It ain't no lie. This shit more than a game. You know that's right. This shit more than a game. And y'all know why. This shit more than a game. Now I got Lil John sitting on my knee, teaching them young what it mean to believe. This bigger than scores, it's what we became. He gon' know off top, this shit more than a game. Clarissa in the back, giving me all types of stress, but deep down, she know the husband the best. She knows he's crazy, she know he's mean, but she know the kid 100% New Orleans. And y'all know why, this shit more than a game. It ain't no lie, this shit more than a game. You know that's right, this shit more than a game. And y'all know why, this shit more than a game. Yeah. When you see Jono scream, this shit more than a game. And when you see a Falcons fan, just call out for Jonathan. And yeah, this shit more than a game. New Orleans know this shit more than a game. Louisiana know this shit more than a game. Texas know this shit more than a game. Whole world know this shit more than a game. Y'all know why.
This shit more than a game. And y'all know how we start off every edition of the Younghoe Koo Show, but y'all got to make it real special and real hot tonight because y'all know when we got company over, man, and we gotta go real hard. So please, to start the show off right, leave a this shit more than a game in the chat right now because y'all, we have somebody who we already know is this shit more than a game certified. And I'm not even gonna waste y'all time. I'm gonna bring him on the show right this very minute. The man needs absolutely no introduction, but legally binded I am by the state of Louisiana to still give him one. He is the host of the Straight Up TJ podcast. You can find him on Bleacher Report and Yahoo Sports. He is a proud member of the National Association of Black Journalists, and he also covers, for all of you guys in the South Carolina region, the Coastal Carolina College football team. Ladies and gentlemen, up for the one and only. I call him one of the Mount Rushmore people of the YouTube of Saints social media, TJ Joe. Hold on, TJ. Hold on. There we go.
Hey, Jono, man, appreciate it, man. Thank you for the intro.
Hey, man, you know, we say that we were going to try to do this at least once a year, and I'm so glad that I'm able to have you on my show because a lot has happened since our last time we was on the show. You was on the show with me, which was last February 2025, and we all know that the whole 2025 season has come and gone, and a lot has happened. Maybe some things that maybe change your mind about some of the things we talked about in February 2025, TJ. Maybe some things that reinforce your opinion. So I'm putting you on a hot seat tonight because I say if there's anybody who I know can sit on a hot seat and say, that's all you got? Can we turn the temperature up a little bit? It's the one and only TJ Jones. So TJ, are you ready for some great Saints conversation right now?
Man, sounds good to me, man. Let's go.
See, the audience is loving it as well. So let's get right down to it. TJ, I have my first question for you is, I mean, it's a question I feel like everybody is wondering. How do you feel about the Saints draft this past few months after we took Jordyn Tyson with the number 8 overall pick, Oscar Delp? How do you feel about the Saints draft?
I thought it was a solid draft, and I think the Saints spoke volumes to the fan base and as well as the NFL world when I say they believe in Tyler Shough. I mean, I have never seen the New Orleans Saints commit to the offense as heavily as they have in this past draft, but it shows you that they believe in Tyler Shough, and you know they seen that, you know, with average talent at the wide receiver position, Tyler Shough was able to get it done. So imagine if you actually have some guys that are talented with all different type of skill sets, what he can actually do with those players. So I think that it was a commitment to Tyler Shough, and also it was a wake-up call to kind of the old regime. You know, the Saints are trying to move on, man. The Saints are trying to get younger. They're trying to get more explosive, and you have a coach in Kellen Moore who isn't tied to the old Saints way. You know, like he doesn't know that much about the commitment and love that we have for some of these players that have been around forever. And, you know, the New Orleans Saints were able to get Kellen Moore when things were looking bleak. You know, contracts were terrible, kicking a can down the road. And you had a lot of people that were interviewed for the job turned their head and said no. But Kellen Moore was willing to go in there, deal with 2025. And I like the fact that the New Orleans Saints are allowing him to build a team the way that he wants to. And you can see it. So I'm excited about what they're trying to build. And I like the fact that they're trying to get younger on both sides of the football.
Now, I'm gonna follow through what you saying. Kellen Moore is building his team, his way, his vision in a little bit. But before I do that, because that's going to be a nice segue to the next question I have for you, I do want to get your opinion. You say that you think it's a solid draft. I don't know, TJ. Solid to the fans might be like, well, that's not good, TJ. We want to hear good. We want to hear great. We want to hear it's an epic draft. But I also want to ask you, does Jordyn Tyson's injury history scare you? We saw this past weekend, France was already freaking out because the Saints have him on a strict regimen of how they're going to bring him along until training camp, which included him sitting out his second practice of Saints rookie minicamp this past weekend. And you know how the fans are, which he's already hurt, and you know, hoopla and all that good stuff. Does his injury history concern you? Because that was the knock on Jordyn Tyson going into the draft, is that he might be the best wide receiver in the draft, but a lot of teams were, like the Titans, are scared to take him with the top pick as a wide receiver because of his injury history.
I mean, how could you not be a little nervous? But when you think about the talent and the ability that Jordyn Tyson has, it kind of like overshadows some of those injuries. A lot of that is just unfortunate circumstance since his time at Colorado. And, you know, you have yourself some soft tissue issues where he even admitted himself. You know, I got a chance to talk to him at the combine. He said he had to change some things. He had to change some things up, man, about his regimen and like strength and conditioning. And the Saints are going to put him on a strength and conditioning plan, and they're going to try to make sure that those soft tissue injuries can be avoided. But look, this isn't anything that's new. A lot of teams are doing the same things that the Saints are doing. It just feels like it's only happening to the Saints because historically some of these key position players have been nicked up. But when you have yourself a young, talented top 10 pick, man, you want to preserve that. Like the worst thing that could possibly happen is you're going through mini camp and then all of a sudden this guy gets hurt. And I want to make something very clear too. I put out a video on Bleacher Report in regards to this same topic, Jono, and people were like, well, you know, Kellen Moore said that they would just give him a rest, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, man, first off, you have to pay attention to the obvious. Like, just because y'all don't want to hear what is obviously right in front of your face, which is Jordyn Tyson has had some issues being injured, doesn't mean that you're supposed to ignore it. Like, I don't get that, man. Like, it's not saying that you expect for it to happen again or he's hurt. I just think that a lot of people know the narrative around Jordyn Tyson and they're a little nervous. They see the talent. They see the comparisons to guys like OBJ and even Justin Jefferson. But then they turn around and they look at the other half, which is he's always injured. You got to be a little nervous about it. But at the end of the day, like his talent kind of trumps your nervousness because you know if he goes out there, he's going to be a really dynamic receiver for the Saints.
That was two low-key flexes you dropped in the past 2 minutes. You would say, one, I was at the draft combine. I talked to Jordyn Tyson. And two, if you see me on Victory Report, go ahead, TJ. Go ahead, TJ.
Man, I'm just trying to provide context, man, because, you know, when people sometimes when they see me, they just think that I'm just talking. But it's funny to me. And like I said, I'm not trying to brag or boast on this, but it's funny when people like say, oh, man, you just a YouTuber or whatever. And then they'll turn around and post something that somebody said about the Saints at the combine. Well, who do you think you got it from? It was from me. I'm the one that's asking the questions. And also shouts out to Adam over there, you know what I'm saying, with them boys over there, you know, covering the Saints too. But I'm like, man, we out here, man. We outside, man. We outside.
You got to put some respect on the fact that even if you are just a YouTuber, I mean, it's 2026. Hello. That's the new way of the world.
Yeah, I mean, even that's not an insult. But I'm just saying, though, people feel like, you know, if you're not like right there next to everybody and, oh, look at them standing next to this person, it's like they don't look at you as being certified or you take your craft serious. Like you can attest to this. Like we be out here, man. We outside.
Come on now. And tell them the only certification you need is the fact that you are this shit more than a game certified. If anybody have a question you ever again. I'm an energy person, TJ. Like the way I kind of go about life is I kind of like get a vibe from people just by the energy I get when I'm around them or be a conversation or whatnot. So because you were with Jordyn Tyson, were you able just from that in-person element to pick up energy around him? Like, oh, this kid, you know, I can get a feel that he's going to be good for the community or, you know, going to be a fun person in the locker room, somebody who has an engaging character, anything like that. Was he reserved? Did you get any type of, you know, characteristic or personality trait while you were talking to Jordyn Tyson? I know it's interviews and he's being formal and, you know, it's probably long days for him and whatnot, so you can't really get a good gauge of character, but were you able to just get a feel for like how you feel like he might be as a personality and as a person in the city of New Orleans and with the New Orleans Saints?
I think he'll mesh really well because he's a humble kid, man. This is a guy, I mean, we seen it at the draft when he was drafted, man. I mean, and what a lot of people don't understand is when they're able to go to the podium and go to the stage, they get to select the songs that, you know, that they come out to. Yeah. And he picked a gospel song, man, because that song commemorated like some of the trials and tribulations he'd been through, all of the injuries, and the fact that he was still able to put together, you know, a season, and also just being in that top 10, it meant a lot to him. And you know, he's a humble guy. You know, you can tell he's going to come in, he's going to put his head down, and he's going to work. But he also has this confidence about himself as, you know, he's the best player on the field. So I just think that when you have a combination of that type of player, the sky's the limit. The Saints knew what they were doing when they selected him. I mean, he's not one of those type of guys that doesn't mesh with the city. He will mesh with the city. And I think that if everything, you know, goes according to plan, he'll be a fan favorite, no doubt about it.
I love the gospel. You know, God is good, huh? God is good.
Yeah, all the time, man.
Hey, there we go. I was waiting for you, you know. Hey, if you're black, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
TJ, you alluded to the fact that one of the reasons you like the draft is because you say you see Kellen Moore gradually bringing this team into his vision, which is a good thing, right? Of course, fans are going to be like, yeah, we want Kellen Moore to have his players, his vision, all that good stuff. But sometimes with that comes the fact that a lot of old players are shown the door. Old players that we as fans have a huge affinity for. Two of them being Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan. Now, after Alvin Kamara's podcast interview last week on Teron Armstead's great podcast, you tweeted, you say, Saints fans, it is time for us to have some uncomfortable conversations. And I was very curious about that. And I heard a little bit of your show afterwards, but I kind of stopped. I said, you know what? I want to have TJ on my show because I want me and him to have this conversation in person, because I want to know what uncomfortable conversations do Saints fans need to have about Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan.
Well, the uncomfortable conversation is that they're not the same players they once was. And look, I mean, I think we all can agree when it comes to the New Orleans Saints and the fan base, it's family oriented. It doesn't just start on airline. Like we joke around and talk about like how it's family oriented, and sometimes it makes the decisions tough to get rid of players. But it's the same way with the fans. Like the fans, like if you talk about these players, it's almost like you're talking about their mother or their father. But when it comes down to it, man, Alvin Kamara, he hasn't really been available over the last couple of years. And, you know, it's not like the Saints are like pushing him out of the door. It's like, if John, it's like if I tell you, I've noticed that you've been coming late, and I will hope that you will stop, like, can you start coming on time? Yeah, I can come on time. Then all of a sudden you still coming late and nothing too much changed. Like, and then all of a sudden you see somebody brand new in the same spot, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna be working alongside you. Well, you can't feel bad about that because I've given you an opportunity to change my mind, and you can continue to do the same thing. Now, he's been injured and you can't control that, but at the same time, look how many games that he's missed, and the production hasn't been the same. And I also feel like, and this could be considered controversial, but I don't care. Like, if you're a leader of a team, like you're one of the faces of the franchise, you need to be available. Like, this is a new regime. This is the first full year that you got Tyler Shough as your starting quarterback. And if you're a leader on the team, like, I just think that you need to be available. Now, I get that, he has his own little private routine that he does.
You're talking about off the field, right? Like with his off-season workout? Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah. And then I'm like, you just over there chilling, like everything cool, man. But at the end of the day, it's like, man, it was well within the Saints' rights to go out here to get somebody like Travis Etienne. And, you got to go out here and still prove that you can actually do it. Like, right now, you got to keep it a buck. Alvin Kamara just making it off basically being Alvin Kamara, and the respect that Saints fans have for him. Because he has, realistically, he has not played a full season since his rookie year. So I'm just saying, man, like, I just think that, like, if you're a leader, you got to carry yourself as a leader, and people acting like the Saints are doing Alvin Kamara wrong, and they're not. Like, it's a business at the end of the day. If a person is not doing what is best for business, you're going to try to find somebody to actually benefit your business. And that's why they got Travis Etienne.
Now, Tyrann Mathieu said the Saints are doing Alvin Kamara wrong, not because of the reasons you alluded to, but because there were some in the front office who are still holding a grudge that Kamara was one of the leading players in getting Dennis Allen fired. And I have no reason to believe that Tyrann would lie. And I also, like you just alluded to, we know that the Saints run like a family organization. So I would not be surprised if there are still some people, even seeing how excited we are about Kellen Moore and seeing how Kellen Moore's vision is slowly coming to life and there's reason for optimism, still feel a bit salty that they're a good old friend. It's a good old boys network all over the NFL, but I feel like it's really a good old boys network on Airline Drive with the New Orleans Saints and New Orleans Pelicans. A little salty that, their good boy, Dennis Allen was fired because players like Alvin, Cam, and Lord knows who else say it's time for him to go. So do you take into account any of that? Do you think that that is a legitimate reason why the front office might be a little weary of bringing Alvin Kamara back or not in a rush to want to pay him the $10 million this season?
No, I think that one doesn't have anything to do with the other. I think they can be resentful or upset at the fact that him spearheading the charge of getting Dennis Allen fired, which, in my opinion, I feel like he was doing guys' work because Dennis Allen was a terrible head coach. But at the same time, if we're talking about it from a production standpoint, Jono, like, he has not produced the way that you would want to give a running back that type of money. Like, we have to be realistic. Like, you cannot treat players like you're giving them contracts like it's the Lifetime Achievement Award. Like, you can be appreciative of what they have done in the uniform, but it's a production business, man. And if you're not producing the way your contract entails, right, man, you gotta make some tough decisions. So I don't think that one has anything to do with the other. Like, maybe they do have some resentment, but if they had resentment and Alvin Kamara was out here looking like a top 5 running back, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. If they have some type of resentment, it looks like they justified in being skeptical about a contract is because he hasn't produced over the last 3 to 4 years the way that you would want your starting running back to do so.
I can appreciate that rootlessness from a GM. I can also definitely appreciate you with the audience and platform you have, keeping your feelings 100% authentic and not, conforming because, obviously a lot of fans, if you want to tweet what you just said, TJ, me and you have side conversations all the time about people who just get on your ass because, it's not the hoorah, go Saints, black and gold till I die type. So I can appreciate that. I'm a bit more, I guess, TJ, player empowerment. So I'm always about the play. And I'm not saying you're not with this argument. I'm just saying I'm always kind of leaning more towards the player side and saying, man, Alvin, you were performing great when we were paying you pennies and nickels on being hyperbolic. Obviously, he was still getting good money as a rookie, but he wasn't getting the top money. So I don't mind you getting paid top dollar while you're not the same Alvin Kamara that we got used to during your peak years. And TJ, and I'm a little biased because I love me some Alvin Kamara. I genuinely think that he does still have good football left in him. I think if we keep him, he's going to derive. Well, it depends on how much Kellen Moore uses him, because I can see a world where Kellen Moore's like, even if he's on the team, like I don't have any plans to put him in for 10 or 15, maybe I'll give him 5 plays, but Achane is my guy. I totally can see that. But if Kellen Moore says, okay, he's on my team, I'm going to make him the number 2 back, and we're going to try to do an Ingram Kamara type thing, from 2017, 18, 19, 17 and 18, I think Kamara can still thrive. I really do. And I think, TJ, the Saints are a better team in 2026 with Alvin Kamara than without. And my final rebuttal, I guess, if you want to use that word to your argument, is that we got ourselves back in the salary cap good graces. We're not in salary cap hell anymore. So if we only got to pay Alvin Kamara $10 million this year, what's wrong with that? And we cut him whenever. We only saved like $3 million. We're not going to sign nobody else in 2026 that's going to move the needle a little bit. Not saying Kamara moves the needle in 2026, but I mean, if Achane, God forbid, goes down, would you not feel more confident in having Alvin Kamara be that guy now for however long Achane might be out, rather than Kendre Miller or Devin Neal?
Well, let me say this, Jono. Let me just make this clear. I'm not saying or advocating for Alvin Kamara not to be on the team. I agree with what you're saying when it comes to Alvin Kamara being involved. I'm a firm believer, just like you, that with the addition of Travis Achane, you can see a much better version of Alvin Kamara. It was way too much Kamara going on with a very suspect offensive line, over the last couple of years. Now you can make that argument. And we also seen, like, when Alvin Kamara has the right offense, like those first 2 weeks, that we saw back in 2024, like Alvin Kamara, what he had, like 4 touchdowns against the Cowboys. I mean,
I still believe, TJ.
Yeah, exactly. So you can make an argument to say that, okay, if you fix the offensive line, which the New Orleans Saints have put an emphasis on, bringing in David Edwards, and also, investing, on your anchors with Calvin Banks and Tallahassee. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at it from a business standpoint. Like, I'm all for, like, look, I feel like players need to get their money, but you also have to look at the leverage that the New Orleans Saints have. Like, the fact that Alvin Kamara hasn't been able to finish a season is the leverage that they're holding. And, like, they can use that to be like, okay, we not going to pay you X, Y, and Z. And also, like, they pretty much just told everybody that Travis Achane is the feature back. And, they're going to move forward with Travis Achane. He's younger. They invested more money in him, and they expect for him to be on the team for the next, at least 2 to 3 years. But the addition of Alvin Kamara going alongside Achane would be a really good 1-2 punch. I'm not saying Alvin needs to leave, but at the same time, these injuries and the production or lack thereof is giving the Saints leverage, even though some Saints fans may not want to hear it. That's the way they're looking at it.
All right. What about Cam Jordan? How you feel about that situation?
I think when it comes to Cam Jordan, I just think that this is the New Orleans Saints trying to get younger. And I mentioned earlier, like, we have emotional ties to Cam Jordan. We have emotional ties to Alvin Kamara. Why? Because we have seen these guys, like, from the first time, like, they came out of college, and they have given us so many great moments in a Saints uniform. Kellen Moore isn't looking at it that way. He's looking at it like, this team needs to get younger. We need to get more explosive. We need to find more guys that can be those cornerstone guys for the next 5 to 10 years. And even if Cam Jordan is on the team, Cam Jordan, best football is behind him instead of ahead of him. He'll probably have some.
He had 10 sacks last year, didn't he? Wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, but how many years is Cam Jordan going to continue to play, Jono? I mean, 2, 3 years tops, So, I mean, look, I love Cam, like, for real. Like, him not being on a team can be considered blasphemous. Like, the leadership and what he does in the community, I mean, it's top notch. I mean, you can make honestly, if we were talking about who needs to be on this team more than anybody, you probably would say Cam Jordan before anybody else. But I can understand that the New Orleans Saints are trying to get younger on the defensive side of the football. And also, they don't want to disrespect Cam Jordan either. Like by having these young guys come in and they expect for these guys to get the majority of the reps, you don't want to have Cam Jordan, who is a well-respected guy, future Hall of Famer. And in my opinion, nobody needs to ever wear his number ever again in a Saints uniform. You don't want to disrespect him by just having him on the team. And, but at the end of the day, the Saints are doing what Saints fans have been asking for, Jono. Like me. We've been asking for it. But it's like we've been asking for the same. Man, we need to get rid of the whole Sean Payton, Drew Brees regime. We need to completely turn the page. But like they say, pardon is such sweet sorrow, right? It's one thing us saying it, but actually seeing it get carried out is another thing, right? But that's just what it is. Like, you wanted this, it's tough, but the Saints are doing what Saints fans have been asking for the last 4 to 5 years.
And I'm a hypocrite because I was one of the main ones, pounding the table saying, look, when you're driving, you look in the front, you look in the windshield, you don't look at the rear view mirror, right? So I was totally one of those main people telling Mickey Loomis and the folks on Airline that. But sometimes, TJ, bro, you can renovate the house, but you still, you see that old couch, you're like, that couch still is old. It has a little wear and tear on it, but it still fits with my brand new house. And I feel like Kamara and Cam. Oh,
that's the same analogy.
That old chandelier, they're like, hey, you know what? It still works in my brand new house. So God damn it, I want to keep Kamara and Cam. And I hope we do. But that's why I had you on the show, because I love hearing,
it's crazy, Jono. It's crazy, my friend. I'll use that same analogy. It's like I'll give you a story, okay? So after I graduated from Jackson State, I told my mom, I'm like, I'm gonna move to Texas or whatever. And she was like, well, like she got all excited and stuff like, yeah, you moving to Texas, this, that, and the third. But then, I'm saying, I got the U-Haul truck, I got my car in the back, I'm saying, and she just looking out the door. She was like, I didn't think it was gonna be this hard for you to go, but that's the reality. Like, we're all excited about what the future holds, but it's another thing to see that in real life, like really see the change happening. And, but the Saints wheels are going to keep on turning, man. Like once upon a time, man, you've been rooting for this team a long time, man. I mean, I've been rooting for this team a long time. Think about all of the New Orleans Saints players that you watched and admired. And then all of a sudden they go to another team. And then all of a sudden, you rooting for more players. That's just the way that it goes. It's not like you have to forget about the contributions that player made, and you can be appreciative of that. But at the same time, the New Orleans Saints are going to be in business way longer than any player hits this field. That's just the reality.
Well, me and you live different lives on that end, because when I moved out my mom and dad's house, they were celebrating. They were like, yeah, goodbye, John. I'm playing. My mom and dad listen, I'm playing. TJ, before we continue this conversation, let's show some love to everybody who left Super Chats, including the king of the Super Chats. To your questions for the great TJ Jones right now. TJ, let's start off with Bruce Saint. Bruce Saint says, what would be more beneficial to the team? And Alvin Kamara, retention or the part? He putting you on the hot seat. He say, I don't need to explain. He say, yeah, who is a team more benefited with Alvin Kamara being on the team or not being on the team? TJ, what's the answer?
Him being on the team. I mean, look, we seen the 1-2 punch, with Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. Well, he's more Mark Ingram than he is Alvin. I mean, Travis Etienne will be like the feature back, and Alvin will serve in that backup role. And I think that it will be extremely beneficial to the running game, because you have two really talented, smart running backs that are capable of having big games. So, yeah, I think that you need to keep them.
Shout out to you, Bruce Saint. Super Keen Cooper, I guess he has a rebuttal for you, teacher. He says AK damn near had his first 1,000-yard season in 2024, but he missed the last 2 or 3 games. With a better offensive line, Alvin Kamara will be effective. I believe you agree with that, though, right, TJ?
Yeah, I agree with it. But if it was fifth, we all would be drunk. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's saying that he. Like I'm saying, nobody's saying that he's washed. I'm just saying, it's justified for the New Orleans Saints to get somebody younger and that can be more of a feature back. He's 30 years old, man. We got to be realistic about this. How many 30-year-old running backs you see that teams are just going out here, bringing out there to be the feature back? It's a young man's game, folks. We got to get our emotions out of this, man. It's a
This shit
business.
more than the game. TJ is this shit more than the game. Who that for life? Chris says we needed this collaboration. 24. I appreciate that. Who that for life, Chris? I promise you. I know. I feel like we said this last time, but me and TJ definitely will do better at collabing more with each other because we get great conversations like this that we appreciative. Me and him having a platform that we have been able to be blessed with because of people like you. Who that for life, Chris? So thank you for that super chat. And he also says, TJ. You do be wilding on round table. Oh, wait. He says, do us who that for life, Chris, be wilding on round table. I don't think so. For some context,
he be
wilding.
TJ
is part of a NFC South round table, and I'm assuming who that for life, Chris, goes in there and has your back. But he probably be talking to
that man wild as a wild boy.
With the Tyler Shough hike we got now, he's going to be even more wild this season. GZDR for Av says, if the Saints home opener is against the Patriots, do you think the fans will give Vrabel a hard time? I don't think we play the Patriots this year. GZ,
no, I don't think so.
So, but I know me and TJ both definitely know what you're talking about. I think Vrabel's going to get a lot of flack from every fan base this year. But we don't play them. And the Know the Chop podcast asks, do you feel Jordyn Tyson can be a complementary piece in our offense and can be a tandem to go alongside Chris Olave? And is the future bright for our New Orleans Saints?
Man, that's a lie right there. Yeah, do I think he'll be a complimentary piece? Yeah, this year alone. As long as he stays healthy, I believe that Jordyn Tyson will end up being better than Chris Olave because he provides a little bit more than what Chris Olave has. Like, he can get that 50-50 ball for you. Like he's explosive. Like he can win that, he can win on the line of scrimmage. You can line him up on the inside or the outside. Like he is a matchup nightmare, man. And the Saints knew what they were doing when they got him, man. This is a guy, man, I'm telling you, like if he stays healthy, he can be in that conversation same way we talk about Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Like he is that dynamic. That's a special kid, man. The Saints got a real one as long as he stays healthy.
Well, speaking of kids, TJ, my lovely wife says that Hart and Lil Jono is really enjoying this discussion. So shout out to you, TJ. As TJ knows, ever since our last show, I become a father just like TJ. And TJ also knows man. I came to him a few times saying, TJ, man, how you do it? How you do this fatherhood thing? TJ kept it a buck with me, and I appreciate that, TJ. And I look forward to the day, TJ. I see it now. Lil Jono on this side, your son on this side, hosting their own damn Saints podcast.
Oh man, he chomping at the bit already, man. We got him doing some little sports reports and stuff like that, man. But yeah, man, being a father is incredible. I think you can relate to that, man. I mean, just seeing them grow and like it gets better and better, man.
Now, TJ, you just mentioned that you think Jordyn Tyson will eventually be better than Chris Olave and not be the number 2, but be the clear-cut number 1. Now, I think you might have a little bit bias when you answer a question like that, though. And I'm going to get to that after I ask you fans to do me and TJ one-sided favor. Hey, fans, hit the subscribe button in 3 seconds to make this Falcons fan sad. 3, 2, 1. All right, TJ, you definitely pissed off. Well, I feel like you're gonna piss off some Saints fans with your comments that you mentioned earlier in the show about AK and Cam. When I clipped this and put it on Twitter to get their opinions, but last year, you definitely pissed off a good portion of Saints fans when you gave your opinion on Chris Olave. And if you guys were not watching the John O'Bone show last year with TJ Jones, first of all, what the hell were you doing? But second of all, I will be more than happy to give you guys a replay of what TJ Jones said about Chris Olave last year before the 2025 season.
And I'm saying that because I don't really look at Chris Olave as the number 1 receiver. I don't.
That's a hot take, okay, because there's a lot of Chris Olave believers out there.
Yeah.
Why do you not feel Chris Olave is a number 1 receiver?
Because when I look at a number 1 receiver, Jono, I look at a guy that everybody knows the ball is going to go to him, and it doesn't matter. Like, we know when Michael Thomas was in his prime, everybody knew he was going to get the football, but it did not matter. He found ways to get open. He wasn't the fastest guy in the world. He just basically got off the line of scrimmage with brute strength and was fundamentally sound. And everybody knew he was the number 1 guy. There are times where I look at Chris Olave and I even question, like, is he the best wide receiver on the team? Like, when in big time moments, who was Derek Carr looking for the most of the time? It was Rashid Shaheed.
TJ, after you said that, Chris Olave in 2025 had 100 receptions, 1,163 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns, and was a second-team wide receiver on an all-pro team. So I ask you, TJ, do you feel the same way about Chris Olave in 2026 that you felt before the 2025 season?
I never said that Chris Olave wasn't a good receiver. I just don't think he's a great receiver, and I still don't. I mean, I think. Look, no, I look. Is he like really good? Absolutely. But here's the thing. You know what helped Chris Olave? You know what really truly helped him was when Rashid Shaheed got traded. Because if you notice, who was the deep threat when Rashid Shaheed left? It was him. Mm-hmm. And if you look at his time at Ohio State, right? Look at the wide receivers that were alongside him. He was the deep threat. Justin Fields was looking for him down the field. That's why he would have these big time numbers. And the New Orleans Saints, when he was the number one guy, they took that away from him because Rashid Shaheed was so dynamic down the field. Well, now who's the next fastest guy who's going to beat the defender down the field? It was Chris Olave. So yeah, it did. His numbers did improve. But do I think that he's looked at like I look at a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson? No, I don't. I think there's the top shelf at the bar, right? And then right below that, you still got that good stuff, but it's not as good as the top shelf. And that's why I look at when it comes to Chris Olave.
Now, maybe at this point, then it's a semantics thing because he convinced me last season that, especially, you mentioned that Rashid Shaheed being traded is what upped this value. I think it's just he found a good quarterback in Tyler Shough. And, oh, wow, I have a good quarterback. Look how much of a better receiver I am. Now, I agree with you. I don't think he's a number one receiver in the realm of Mike Thomas in his prime for all the Saints fans, but a Jamar Chase, a Justin Jefferson, a Puka Nuka, things like that. No, but I do think there are tiers when it comes to a number one receiver. And I think Chris Olave is in that second tier where he may not be elite, but he can be a number one wide receiver on a Super Bowl winning team. Not that he would carry your offense to that Super Bowl title, but he could be a valuable number one receiver, as long as the other pieces around him are good. So I think he's a number one wide receiver, so much so that I changed my tune on the fact that the Saints are probably going to give him a record-breaking contract soon. I mean, I was going to say the offseason, but we already are into the middle part of the offseason. So it's got to be in the next few months probably where he's going to try to get the highest paid wide receiver contract in New Orleans Saints history. And I am fine with that. Now, in October 2025, I was like, trade him while he has value. He proved me with Tyler Shough that he is worth the investment to see what he can do going forward in his career. But I ask you, TJ, given how you feel about Chris Olave, are you comfortable with the Saints giving him the highest paid wide receiver contract in team history and going to be the highest paid player on our team?
I would love to see Chris Olave get paid. I mean, look, the players, they go out here, they put their lives, their bodies on the line, want to see them get paid. But does he deserve to be the highest paid wide receiver? No. I mean, middle of the pack. You seen what Garrett Wilson got last year? I think that's probably his wheelhouse. If we being realistic, because look, I just think that we dilute greatness sometimes. Because we look at guys and we look at some of their numbers and we're like, okay, man, he did X, Y, and Z. But that's to me, that doesn't make you great. That just means that you had a good season. I look at when it comes to great wide receivers, I think about all these different wide receivers that have played the game. It didn't matter who was throwing them the football. That's the reason why I respect Michael Thomas so much. It didn't matter who Michael Thomas, who was throwing the ball to Mike T. Taysom Hill was throwing the ball to Mike T. Teddy Bridgewater was throwing the ball to Mike T. Jameis Winston was throwing the ball to Mike T. Drew Brees threw the ball to Mike T. And it didn't matter. When you look at guys like Calvin Johnson, when you look at guys like DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, Larry Fitzgerald, that's what I look at as being great. It doesn't matter who throws you the football. You still going to make things happen. You may not be flirting with 2,000 yards, but at the end of the day, your stat line matters. So, like I said, when it comes down to Chris Olave, really, really good wide receiver. Elite, no. Middle of the pack, contract when it comes to you still should be at the upper echelon, but should you get more than Jackson Smith and Jigba? No. Did you get paid more than Jamar Chase? No. Justin Jefferson? No. But he's the next guy up, and he's a second-team All-Pro. So if you're an agent, you're going to use that as leverage. So more than likely it's going to happen. He's going to be the highest paid.
You know, people might think that you are just talking out of your ass when it comes to, you know, your evaluation of Chris Olave, but many may not know, TJ, that the reason why you might have such strong opinions is because you are a great wide receiver yourself. So I don't know, y'all. Maybe we should sign TJ to be our number 2 wide receiver and open up some coverages for Chris Olave. What you think about that, TJ?
Man, look, I ain't nowhere near on Chris Olave's level, but yeah, at the same time, man, look, I just watched football for a long time. And, you know, when we use like words like, oh, you goated or goat, I just feel like those type of words like kind of minimize the achievements of great players doing great things. So, yeah, like I said, really good receiver. Like, man, like you look at Chris Olave run routes or, you know, his ability to catch passes, like, man, he's dynamic. But I just think that, like, there's something about his game. And like I said, it can change. Like this year, he can be that wide receiver that everybody expects him to be. But as of right now, I just feel like there's some things that he leaves to be desired.
Are you a number 1 wide receiver on your team, TJ?
Yeah, I'm the one. Yeah, I mean, look, man, I'm playing flag football like my first year. I made a first team all rookie, you know what I'm saying? Like we had we half stepping out there.
I love it. It'll be interesting to see, TJ, because I think Chris Olave did show flashes of greatness, but also there was plays at the Dolphins game where Tyler Shough went to him to the end of the game, and I'm like, well, does Michael Thomas make that catch that Chris Olave could not come down with? And then that's where you get to the conversations about, again, you know, tears, you know, like, okay, a great wide receiver might make that catch that Olave could not make. But I think I'm interested, and I really hope Olave stays healthy this year, especially with Jordyn Tyson now, to see what he can do with a full season with Tyler Shough. Obviously, you know, the market is the market, and we're going to pay him what he and his agent feel like he deserves, and I'm more than fine with that as a guy who champions player empowerment, but also because he showed me enough that I'm like, I can, you know, allow it for a team that doesn't have necessarily too many other big contracts on our team now. But it'll be interesting to see, because I think it might work out, TJ, where we pay Olave now while we got Jordyn Tyson in his rookie contract years. And then by the time, if Jordyn Tyson hopefully comes to fruition the way we think he can come to fruition, when he's ready for his big contract, Olave's will be dwindling down, and, you know, it might work out perfectly as far as a team that's in rebuilding mode. So we will see. But a big component of that is going to be the quarterback play. And TJ, I think you talk about how fans might get a little overzealous and whatnot. I sometimes wonder at nighttime as I'm laying down in bed next to my lovely wife, you would think I would be thinking about, you know, showing her some love, but, you know, this shit more than the game. And I'm thinking about, are we putting too much pressure on Tyler Shough? Because TJ, the hype is real. The hype is real, not just from Saints fans, but even from the national media. Mike Clay, ESPN NFL fantasy football expert, put out his 2026 passing yard projections this past week. And look at the top 5, TJ. Look at number 4. Who is that at number 4? Tyler Shough. He has Tyler Shough having more passing yards this year than Joe Burrow, than Matthew Stafford, than Patrick Mahomes, and Jaden Daniels, which means, of course, the fans are going to go even crazy with the, we got us one. We got us a franchise quarterback. And I love it. I'm excited. I'm one of the main fans this offseason ringing the bell saying I'm drinking all the hopium as a Saints fan, because Lord knows we haven't had that in a long time. But there is parts of me that go, you know, he is a sophomore coming in. The sophomore slump is real. There is a world where he might struggle next season, and does that make the fan base turn on him because we were like, hold on, now you were supposed to be great and now you're not great? Are we putting too much expectations on Tyler Shough? TJ, is the hype becoming a little bit too much?
Yes and no. I'll say this. Yes, it's getting a little bit out of hand, because I mean, he only played 9 games, but in those 9 games, he showed Saints fans something they haven't seen since Drew, right? You know, like he went out there with, I say, you know, some role players. I call them Kyle Korvers and Mike Millers. You know what I'm saying? Like some guys coming off the bench. They, you know, like they're not gonna be like the stars of the team, but they'll hit a 3 for you, you know. And that's what he was out there with, and he showed that he can elevate other players around him, and that was something that was exciting. That's something that Saints fans haven't seen since Drew. And you know how this thing goes, man. Like when a Saints fan sees something that's great, they want the next thing to resemble that. And
yes,
that's what Saints fans are tying to. And it also helped. Like let's not get it twisted. It helped that he wasn't the man after the man. He was the man after the man after the man. So
after the man. We
exactly.
I don't think we're looking at that Cleveland Browns jersey meaning like just listen. And it still might happen. It still might happen.
Exactly. So I mean, look, Derek Carr left a bad taste in the mouth of a lot of Saints fans, right? And you wanted something that would be the complete opposite of him, right? I mean, he goes to Chipotle. Where did Shough go to Drago? You know what I'm saying? Like he did everything. He did everything right that Derek Carr did wrong, right? I mean, he was able to learn from that. Now you see him. I don't know how home he get no sleep. I mean, he all at the rodeo with it. I mean, he had the banana ball league. I mean, he's going
infant kid. What an infant kid. God bless his wife.
yeah, for real. I'm like, he's active. He is showing that he wants to be a part of this community. And then on top of that, you have the NFL world that kind of fell in love with him too. It was the fact that he just kind of came out of nowhere. Like nobody outside of Louis Riddick, like nobody really thought that he was going to be what he is right now. So yeah, the expectations are high. It's high because you're a quarterback in the National Football League and you show promise. So yes, I mean, yes and no. But look, you got to be realistic about this thing. Like he's going into his second year. This is going to be his first year as a full-time starter. Teams have film on him. They're going to go ahead and break that down and understand his tendencies a little bit more. But at the same time, he is going to understand the speed of the game a little bit more too. And, it's going to be beneficial to him. So I don't think that, they jump into conclusions or going crazy over it. I mean, if Saints fans are doing it, then the NFL are losing their mind too, because you just think like analytically, like everybody thinks that he is a top 10 quarterback. So that I can't argue with that.
What is on a scale of 1 to 5? What is your excitement level for Tyler Shough exclusively this year?
I'm gonna give it a 5 because I'm excited because it's a breath of fresh air. It seems like the guy is confident. Like it seemed like the Saints finally got the quarterback that they need to lead the charge into the future. And I just think that he's worth rallying behind. Like he's a guy that's sure of himself. You never really feel like he's like in over his head. And like I said, he went into the locker room and he won a lot of guys over. Like he won them over one pass at a time. Like did it the hard way. Like nobody gave him anything. Like he wasn't somebody that was a highly touted draft pick. He was a guy that people rarely even said anything about. Caught fire during the Senior Bowl, was a second-round pick, and you can make an argument that he was, one of the best quarterbacks in the league over that 9-game stretch. So I'm at a 5. I want to see if he can actually build on this momentum.
I'm at a 5 too. I think a lot of Saints fans are at a 5. I'm with you. I don't think we're overhyping him. I do think that there is a world, though, where we have to consider maybe he does not live up to the hype, and hopefully fans will have reasonable reactions should he struggle next season or if he doesn't turn out to be. Yeah, I mean, Lord knows, man, you probably wrote enough checks that our ass can't check to these NFC South fans if he doesn't become what we think he is. But this is the time.
They scared, though. Hey, they scared, like, for real, like, the pulse of the NFC South, John, they're afraid. I'm telling you.
I think so.
They're afraid of. They know Tyler Shough that guy can be special. So they ain't really talking too much. Like they ain't really bragging and boasting. Like they believe, but with the combination of Tyler Shough and not Jordyn Tyson, like they kind of nervous.
Well, you ain't even mentioned our secret weapon that we signed yesterday officially, man. Brock Rechsteiner. We officially have TJ, a genetic freak on our team now, man. So,
Freakzilla Jr.
I don't have a favorite core going to be a beast already. I called him the gaslighters. TJ, our light skin, Oh, gas, no breaks with it, man. I think number 85 gonna have an amazing season, by the way, y'all. Watch out for number 85. But that wide receiver, what's so funny? Oh, you ain't got no love for Ronnie Bell? I think Ronnie Bell.
Man, that's Ronnie Bell. Okay.
Yeah, man, that's Ronnie Bell.
No, that was Ronnie Barnes.
You saw what he did to the Falcons last year. But with Brock Rechsteiner, a part of this great wide receiver core now, man, you know the Saints now have a 141 2/3 chance of winning the NFC South, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all how that match after our next segment. But before we close up that and go to our next segment, we want to get TJ one final question. And TJ, we appreciate you so much for joining us tonight on the John O'Bourne Show. With all that we just talked about, the good, the bad, the positivity, the negativity. I don't want to say negativity, but the realness, the glass half full, and maybe the glass half empty. As of May 2026, TJ, what is your projection for the 2026 New Orleans Saints season? Do you think we win the NFC South? Do you think we're a wild card team? Do you think we have 7-8 wins and come close, but not quite there? Do you think that we actually have a bad year? What do you think? Do you think we go to the Super Bowl? Hell, you might be like, hell with that. This shit more than the game. I feel good about us. What is your projection as of 2026 for the or as of May 2026 for the New Orleans Saints this upcoming season?
I think the Saints.
Oh, wait, hold on, right quick. Before you answer that, this might sway your opinion a little bit. If you look at the strength of schedule, which I don't know if you take these serious or not, TJ, the Saints have the second worst strength of schedule in the NFL this upcoming season, meaning that we have the second easiest schedule. Now, I don't take strength of schedule serious, TJ, because the NFL is built on one thing, well, two things, hope and parity. And the NFL loves to boast about how a team like the Washington Commanders could be drafted number 2 in the NFL draft in 2023, and then an NFC championship in 2024. So I don't take strength of schedule too serious, but it is good to see like, hell, shit, we got a pretty easy schedule coming up. So knowing that we have this easy, as of now, schedule, TJ, what is your projection for the 2026 New Orleans Saints season?
Look, I don't buy into that stuff because teams get better every single year. And then you got to think about, players that were injured and some things that didn't go those teams' way. I don't take that into consideration. I'm only looking at what the Saints have built. I'm looking at some of the additions to the team. I'm looking at guys getting a little bit more mature, game slowing down for them. I think that the Saints are going to win the division, and I think that the Saints are going to win 12 games. So,
12, wow. I love it.
I think they're capable of winning. I mean, and if you think about it, I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibility, man. I mean, they can win it. They can win 12 games.
That's a lot of wins, TJ.
Yeah,
TJ,
I know.
12,
I mean, but
12 is when you are Super Bowl. Like if you win 12 games, people are saying that's a Super Bowl type team. That's a lot of wins, TJ.
Yeah, that's a lot of wins. But I mean, how many games did they win last year? They was average. I mean, they won 6 games. You know, like you can win. Like think about some of the games they were actually in. I mean, I ain't talking about like the blowouts, but I mean, they had some games where they could have went their way. But I just think that if the offensive line stays intact, you got yourself some talented offensive players, right? You got yourself a running game. I mean, I don't see a reason why they can't win 12 games as long as everybody stays healthy. And, if that defense, can, get to the quarterback, which I expect for them to be able to, because now you got yourself some young athletic guys on the interior. That was the biggest concern for me. But now, they invested in the trenches. You invested in your offensive line. And then you got yourself a quarterback that's capable of elevating players around him. So, 12 games. That's realistic to me.
I appreciate that. And I'm genuinely shocked because, you aren't the type to come on and serve fans a shit sandwich and say it tastes like peanut butter, guys. Like you caught it how you see it. So, look at the comments. People saying 9 wins, 10 wins. You say 12 wins. That's awesome, TJ. I fucks with it.
Look, John, I'm just looking at the NFC South, right? I'm just looking around. Like,
now, I think the NFC South is going to be a lot better than people, including maybe Saints fans, give it credit for. I think all 4 teams genuinely should feel like they have a shot to win the division in 2026. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, but look, man, I'm just asking everybody to look at what the Saints did with minimal talent. They were able to get 6 wins without really a lot of the key players or like guys that have, but like, man, it was a bunch of young, inexperienced guys that were just out there. And I just look at like I just think about the 2017 Saints. You remember all those young players that were out there? And when the Saints like went on that run, those guys was growing together. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I think that the Saints had that little run over the 4 to 5 year stretch, because you had those players that came in together, they grew together, they developed a rapport, and like they became veterans together. So this is a possibility. You got 9 players that you drafted last season. About 85% of those draft picks actually are in your rotation. And I expect for the 8 to be somewhere in that rotation as well. And if you combine that with the players that they already brought in, I mean, what you got, David Edwards, this guy was one of the top guards, not only in free agency, but the NFL last season analytically. You got Travis Etienne, who is capable of not only providing a spark in a running game, but can break free and make some things happen, man. Like this is a team that can be special, man. As long as they stay focused and as long as they can win this battle of attrition, 12 games are realistic. Like I really honestly believe that the Saints can win 12 games as long as everybody stays active and upright for the most part. 12 games is realistic.
How long have you been doing your YouTube stuff, TJ?
Been doing what since 2018.
2018. So you've seen, you've been able to cover good seasons with the Saints, right? Like playoff episodes and things like that.
Oh yeah.
I have not. I've told my audience all the time, I am the winner of the worst timing award. I started dumbassly after Drew Brees retired. So I pray from your lips to the football guys' ears that we win 12 games, because I can only imagine what the numbers are selfishly as content creators. We in our content creator bubble, I imagine that the excitement and the engagement and viewership is a lot higher when your team is a contender and a threat than it is when we are, led by Dennis Allen and Derek Carr. So I pray, TJ, from your lips to the football guys' ears, that 12 win. I'll take 9, 10. Shit, just give me a playoff season. But I appreciate your answer, man, because you always keep it real, and I know that you aren't just saying this to get fans hyped up or because you are, drinking too much of the hopium. You always say how you feel, and if you say 12 wins, then damn it, TJ, I have no reason to believe that the New Orleans Saints cannot win 12 games in 2026.
Yeah, I believe they can win 12 games. Like just looking at their roster and looking at the schedule, and as well as just the teams in the NFC South. I just think that the Saints are a lot better than a lot of Saints fans may give them credit for, but I can see 12 games. I really can.
It's going to be absolutely interesting to see, TJ. I am mad excited even more now about the upcoming 2026 Saints season. I can't wait to see your content. I can't wait to hopefully maybe me and you link up at some point this season and do an episode. Hopefully while the fan base is at a frenzy because the Saints are doing the damn thing. I just can't wait, man. I can't wait. The schedule comes out Thursday. I can't wait to see who we play. I am excited, TJ. You got me even more goddamn excited. Let the fans know, if they don't already know, which I imagine everybody who's watching already follows you and subscribes to you on YouTube and on your social media pages. But for the few, maybe like the dumbass Falcons fan I see in the chat right now who doesn't know where they can find your stuff, please let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
Well, you can find me on X at TJAY Jones 8, and you can check out the Straight Up TJ podcast that's available on YouTube. You can check out Daily Saints content on Bleacher Report. You can check out Straight Up TJ on Yahoo Sports. And coming up this season, I just officially closed the deal with Sleeper. I'll be the official representative Sleeper, who are launching their YouTube.
Big things, man. You deserve it. That's awesome.
Channel, so I'll be the Saints representative for Sleeper, man. So shouts out to them, for choosing me to do that. So yeah, man. So just be on the lookout. And I really do appreciate it, Jono. Thank you, man, for having me on the show.
I appreciate that, TJ. One final thing. It is the Straight Up TJ show now. It's not Straight Up Saints anymore, y'all. It's Straight Up TJ. Let everybody just know right quick, like, why did you pivot from, the Straight Up Saints to now Straight Up TJ? Like, what's the vision behind that? Because as a content creator, it interests me. I know why, but tell everybody why it is now just Straight Up TJ.
Well, when I first started out,
I'm saying
State of the Saints.
Yeah,
State of the Saints podcast. But when I first started out, it just basically just talking Saints football. But Straight Up TJ, I just think there's several like layers to me. I love the Saints, no doubt about it. But I love sports also. And you know, going to the combine and having like so many different opportunities to be able to do some amazing things, you know, I just thought it would be a great opportunity to branch out. So we still gonna keep it Saints, no doubt about it, but we're gonna like tap into like different other areas of football as well and other sports. Like we talk about different topics, and you know, we do a little reaction videos and stuff like that. Something people have been asking me to do for years.
Yeah.
And like I said, just a little bit of rebranding, man. Just a little bit of rebranding and just trying to grow as a content creator, and you know, just as a person that just loves sports. But it was, you know, it just was something I was looking into and something I've been wanting to do for a long time. But yeah, that was the reason behind it. Just wanted to elevate a little bit.
Well, you know, you have a fan, a supporter, and a friend in me. I kind of follow your same ideology where, you know, obviously Saints were passionate about it, so that's what dominates our content. But you know, shit, sometimes me and you want to talk about wrestling on our shows, and I say,
man, yeah,
and I love that. That's why I say I call my show the John Barnes channel and not the Saints channel, because hey, you're gonna get everything that John Barnes likes. And I'm glad that you made that pivot, because you are interesting and entertaining enough that I can tune into you, not just for Saints, but hey, I want to see what TJ thought about WrestleMania. Well, now I can go on his channel and listen to what TJ's thoughts about this, that, and the third. So I am a fan, TJ. I, of course, like to watch from afar and kind of study you a little bit to see what I can carry to my content creation. I hope you know how much of a pioneer you are. You may not get your flowers from everybody, but you damn sure are going to get it here on the John Barnes Show, because TJ, you are this shit more than a game certified. I remember when I was first starting out and you use your huge platform. You have one of the biggest Saints YouTube channels of all the Saints content creators to put little old me on and to give me a bit of a push, which I always appreciate. And I hope that I can turn that around and give it back to somebody, pay it forward to a fellow Saints fan in the future. But shit like that is why you are a real one. You are authentic, and you are this shit more than a game certified. But TJ, I ain't got to say it. Tell everybody why you came on the John Barnes Show tonight.
Man, because this shit is more than a game.
You're damn right. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the great TJ. TJ, we appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Looking forward to talking to you this season, my guy.
All right, man. Likewise, Jono, thank you so much, man. Shouts out to the Who Dat Nation, man.
Everybody else listening, stay tuned for our next segment. But first, a word from one of our sponsors.
Oh, come on, man. Tackle him. You know what you're trying to hold him in the tackle. Tackle him. Oh, man. I'm tired of this thing, man.
Jono, the dude's gonna call the cops.
Oh, God. This shit more than a game, man.
Ah, yes. We've all been there before. This shit is more than a game, man. And now, these shirts are more than a game. But did you know that this merch wasn't made only for sportswear? No sirree. This shit more than a game is a lifestyle brand. You can wear the shirts for anything, such as going shopping, working out,
This shit more than a game.
doing chores, setting the mood,
Oh, yeah, that's that thing I like.
changing a tire, robbing a bank,
Go, 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 go.
jumping a Falcons fan, and so much more. So purchase your official This Shit More Than a Game merch today for the low starting point of $28.03, and let the world know this shit more than a game. Warning, please see a doctor if you feel you've gone too far with taking this shit more than a game. This Shit More Than a Game is not associated or licensed with any organization or entity except for John Bones LLC. This Shit More Than a Game is not responsible for any fights caused by the shirts. John Bones LLC does not promote or recommend violence of any kind, unless it's at the expense of a Falcons fan. And if you're too lazy and you don't want to type it out, you can always just hit the little QR code right there to go on www.thisshitmorethanthegame.com. Man, y'all, it was such a great pleasure tonight to have TJ. He is so good at this, man. He is just absolutely so good at this, and I'm proud to call him not just a colleague in this content creation space, but as a friend, man. He's just a real good guy, and I'm excited, man. If TJ is saying 12 wins, yeah, and y'all know something about me and TJ, man. We don't again, we don't serve y'all shit and say it's peanut butter. Like, we keep it real, we keep it authentic. We'll say how we feel. If we feel negatively about the Saints and the upcoming seasons, our projections, we'll say it. But if we feel positive, the way we both feel positive, y'all know it's authentic. Y'all know we're not just trying to, rally the fan base or whatnot. So for TJ to say 12 wins that he thinks the Saints can attain, that's exciting, man. Because TJ don't just be throwing numbers hype out there like that all willy-nilly. So I'm excited, and I am appreciative to have him on the show tonight. And I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all are killing it in the chat. Y'all are killing it. Who that for life, Chris? We got to the super chats. I hope you we went through, and TJ and me read both of your super chats. Did I miss one from you? I hope not. He says, hold on. Well, first of all, if we get a super chat from you, then I can't now because my mouse just disappeared like it always does. But there we go. Hold on. We got to get this shit more than a game air horns. All right, there we go. Who that for life, Chris said. I'm sorry I didn't read this while TJ was on the show. Who that for life, Chris? But you said Ark is in the chat, guys. Tell him to pay his Fail Lanter fan appearance tax. This is a family affair, and that tax, of course, is pretty cheap. I don't know why I didn't ever pay it. Who that for life, Chris? I know things are hard in Atlanta right now, but it's only $2.83. So come on, Archangel. But y'all notice a lot of the other Atlanta fans didn't come on the show tonight, right? Like Juddy Bear, talented Mr. Ripley. Y'all notice a lot of the Falcons fans didn't join tonight. Y'all wonder why? Because they're scared. Like TJ said, they're scared of the New Orleans Saints. They're scared that we signed a genetic freak on our team last night, and they were scared of TJ Jones himself. So I'll give Archangel this credit that he actually showed up tonight while we had some guests on the show. But you could tell, man, the Falcons fans are scared. They're absolutely scared. The reason why they're scared is because, like I just said, y'all, and we talked about this a little bit with TJ, we signed a genetic freak. Brock Rechsteiner is a New Orleans Saint. And for some of y'all who may not be huge into wrestling or wonder why are Saints fans so excited about signing an undrafted free agent, well, I did this video last night for Boo Crew Media. By the way, if you guys have not heard the news, I am officially correspondent on Boo Crew Media, so make sure y'all follow them on all social media platforms. And I explain, you guys, why you should be excited about the Saints signing wide receiver Brock Rechsteiner.
Breaking news, the New Orleans Saints have signed wide receiver Brock Rechsteiner. And if you say, well, how is that breaking news? He wasn't even drafted. Well, you must be living under a rock, because Brock Rechsteiner is the son of WWE Hall of Famer and wrestling icon Scott Steiner. That is right, folks. We have Lil Papa Pump on our team now, and I dare any of those NFC South cornerbacks to come at Tyler Shough or our wide receiver corps this year, because now we have a genetic freak on our team. And go check the eyes now. Go check the eyes. I'm looking at the eyes right now. The Saints have a 141 2/3 chance of winning the NFC South now because of Lil Papa Pump, Brock Rechsteiner on our team. You see, the numbers don't lie, folks. And it spells disaster for the rest of the NFC South in 2026. But that's just how I feel when it's shit more than a game. Welcome to the team, Lil Papa Pump.
Holler if you hear me!
Now, how can you not be excited after hearing that? How can you not be excited for Brock Rechsteiner being a New Orleans Saint? Now, y'all know this is like the perfect signing for me, because it's like two of my niches combining with Saints social media and wrestling social media, because y'all know, well, I've tried telling y'all before, wrestling fans do not play. Wrestling fans do not play. So any tweet you see about Brock Rechsteiner is doing absolute numbers for Saints reporters or Saints content creators. It's a gift to us that the wrestling fans are coming in now and kind of infiltrating, and I use that word positively, Saints Twitter, Saints Instagram, Saints YouTube, because them wrestling fans do not play. And I welcome all wrestling fans to all John Barnes platforms, man, because we would love to have that passionate fan base come and join the Who Dat Nation and the This Shit More Than a Game community. These guys are excited. I'm excited, man. Look, Brock Rechsteiner, I know he's undrafted. I know he didn't have the most prolific college career, but he is a genetic freak, like his father. Like, some things are just hereditary. So maybe we put him in a different, unique type role. I don't want to just keep throwing the name Taysom Hill out whenever, we think about a player who could probably play multiple positions or do some X Factor type things. But maybe we can put him in the H-back or the tight end or something like that and kind of work him around the field, make him a weapon for the New Orleans Saints. Not saying right away. Maybe it might take him a year or two. But I think that at minimum, he could be on the practice squad. At minimum, he could be an enforcer for us. Let them Atlanta Falcons cornerbacks talk shit. Let them Carolina Panthers fans and Tampa Bay Bucs fans talk shit. Y'all ain't going to talk shit with Brock Rechsteiner on our team now. I absolutely love it so much, man, how much this is like my two worlds combining together, because that video that I just played was retweeted and reposted by the one and only Big Papa Pump himself. Scott Steiner featured your boy on his social media pages today, and that's why I love this signing so damn much, y'all. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is just so perfect for little Jono Barnes to have a wrestling son, a wrestling a second generation possible. I mean, because Brock Rechsteiner has also said after his Super Bowl career, he wants to go to the WWE and follow in his father's footsteps, follow in his uncle's footsteps, follow in his cousin Brian Breaker's footsteps. So if anything, y'all, we can at least say at one point, we have a future WWE champion on our team. But y'all just know that Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump, is now looking at Saints Twitter. He's now looking at Saints social media, and he's watching us. So be careful, especially to you NFC South fans. Be careful, because we got Big Papa Pump on our team now. So what you gonna do when Big Papa Pump, Lil Papa Pump, and the This Shit More Than a Game community come at you? While I was talking to TJ Jones, look who followed me on social media. Look who followed me on social media. I don't know if y'all could read that out. Scott Steiner now follows your boy. Maybe we get Scott Steiner here on the This Shit More Than a Game couch. We flex the muscles together. Big Jono and Big Papa Pump. I'll get Lil Jono. We'll get Lil Papa Pump. We'll just talk football. We'll talk wrestling. We'll have a good old time. I'm excited, man. Big Papa Pump is in the Who Dat Nation. And Big Papa Pump is This Shit More Than a Game certified. And the math does not lie, folks, because now that we have Lil Papa Pump, Brock Rechsteiner on our team, here is why. Thanks to the super chats from Bruce Saint, from Who Dat for Life, Chris, from from Super King Cooper. Thank you all for the super chats. Now I'm going to play as an exclusive video of why the Saints NFC South Championship odds have increased with the addition of Lil Papa Pump.
You know, they say all teams are created equal, but if you look at the Saints and you look at the Falcons, you can see that that statement is not true. You see, normally if you go one-on-one with another team, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But we are genetic freaks and are not normal. So you got a 25% chance at best at beating the New Orleans Saints. Then you add the Bucs to the mix, the chances of winning drastically go down. But you see the three-way for the NFC South, you got a 33 1/3 chance of winning. But we got a 66 2/3 chance of winning because the Falcons know they can't beat us and they are not even going to try. So the Falcons, you take your 33 1/3 chance, minus our 28.3% chance, and you got an 8 1/3 chance of winning the NFC South. But then you take our 75% chance of winning if we was to go one-on-one, and then you add 66 2/3%, and we got a 141 2/3 chance of winning the NFC South. See, the numbers don't lie, folks, and they spell disaster for the rest of the NFC South this 2026 season. But that's just how I feel when this shit more than the game.
And all I got to say is if you know, you know. The numbers do not lie, and they spell disaster for the rest of the NFC South. Hey fans, hit the subscribe button in 3 seconds to make this Bucs fan sad. 3, 2, 1. And finally, y'all, to close out the show, I also have another theory as to why the Falcons fans didn't infiltrate the Jono Barnes show tonight. Not only were they scared of TJ, not only are they scared that we got Lil Papa Pump on our team now and Big Papa Pump in the Who Dat Nation, not only are they just straight up afraid of Tyler Nathan Shough and the 2026 New Orleans Saints, but y'all want to do something that will really make us Falcons fans scared. Y'all want to show Falcons fans something that will really make them shiver in fear, and just show them this. Just show the Falcons fans this. And I promise you, you will make all Falcons fans scared because Younghoe Koo is a New Orleans Saint. Oh, what a time to be alive, Saints fans. What a time to be alive. Screenshot this. Show it to the Falcons fans. Jerry, I know you'll be looking forward to talking shit to all the Falcons fans. Screenshot this right now, Jerry. I'll give you 5 seconds. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Screenshot it. Show it to every Falcons fan you know and say, wow, look at the glow up of Younghoe Koo. Look how much better. Look how much more your skin glows when you're wearing that black and gold, not that ugly ass black and red. Younghoe Koo is a New Orleans Saint. Brock Rechsteiner is a New Orleans Saint. Ladies and gentlemen, watch out for the 2026 New Orleans Saints. We are coming. We are coming, and we are going to show the world that this shit is more than a game. Man, what a great show we had tonight, y'all. I want to give a this shit more than a thanks to everybody who left the super chat last week. So to Bruce Saint, to Sandra, and to the Know the Chop podcast, you guys are this shit more than a game certified. Every super chat we get, we turn right back around and we invest in this show. And man, thank you to everybody who left the super chats tonight. Who that for life? Chris, of course, the king of the super chats, Bruce saying who, because he left a $10 super chat, he will have his name on the This Shit More Than the Scoreboard next week. And to Super King Cooper, thank you guys. A lot of you guys came from TJ's platforms to come and watch the John Bourne show tonight. So I hope y'all hit that like button. I hope y'all hit that subscribe button. I hope you guys become now fans of the John Bourne show, because if you guys think that TJ is This Shit More Than the Game certified, then y'all definitely going to feel like the boy, the king, is This Shit More Than the Game certified. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the season. I'm excited for a great night we had tonight at the Know the Podcast, Know the Chop podcast. We got that Younghoe. We got that Young Way. I'm gonna be PG. We got that Young Way in black and gold. He's certified now. And look, somehow he even makes the number 4 look good. Know the Chop podcast, and we all know that number 4 might be cursed for a while, but somehow, man, just from you go from the Falcons to the Saints, you can make any number look good, even number 4. Thank you guys so much, man, for a great show that we had tonight. And again, thank you to TJ Jones for joining us and talking Saints with us. We're going to definitely try, like we did last offseason, guys, to get more guests on the show throughout the next coming weeks. The schedule officially comes out Thursday, guys, but actually tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Time, finally, they're going to reveal the Saints Paris date and opponent. Now, I believe the rumor was we were playing the Browns up until today. They say actually it might be the Steelers. I saw Jeff Duncan say it's the Steelers or the Packers, but it seems like a lot of momentum is going to right now that the Saints will be playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in Paris this October. It will all finally be confirmed tomorrow morning so we can make our plans if we are traveling to go to Paris. Lord knows I got to make sure I find my wife's credit card, because that's going to be a pretty penny. That's going to be a pretty penny. So hopefully she has enough funds on her credit card. But tomorrow morning, May 13th, 9 a.m. Central Time, the NFL is finally going to announce the Saints Paris game date and opponent. And then on Thursday, May 14th, 7 p.m. Central Time, y'all, the NFL schedule will officially come out. I don't think I'm going to go live on Thursday to talk about the schedule, but I will probably have reaction videos to the schedule being officially released. So make sure y'all check me out again on Boot Crew Media. Scott Steiner is. So if Scott Steiner can check me out and repost me, why can't any of you guys? Come on now. I got the Big Papa Pump cosign. Make sure y'all follow me on my platforms and on Boot Crew Media as well, so we can react together to the schedule and just have, the schedule is the schedule, but it's always fun to just kind of have something else to talk about and to be excited about and start planning what games we feel like are going to be must wins, high drama. Maybe see if we actually get some primetime games this year. Lord knows we hope that the Falcons don't get 5 primetime games again. I don't know what the national media was thinking last year. But it'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to see the schedule. This Thursday, I'm excited to see who we play in Paris tomorrow. I'm excited to next week talk to you guys about the 2026 schedule, because that means 2 things. One, it means the season is closer, which is great, but it also means that after the schedule comes out, it's usually the dog days of the offseason, but we got great guests like TJ in a pipeline that we can definitely still have some fun this offseason. So I am looking forward to it. I appreciate you all so very much. I appreciate you, Jeremiah. Thank y'all very much for that. Please always make sure that you tune into the John Bourne show. And please know that we now have a genetic freak on our team, and that Big Papa Pump is This Shit More Than a Game certified. I'll see y'all guys next time. Same John Bourne's time, same John Bourne's channel. And y'all know why? TJ Jones will tell y'all, because this shit more than a game.
You know.